What is up, Sheepdog Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Sheepdog Nation podcast with your host, me, Autumn Schmidt. What's going on? What is going on? It's been a minute. Yeah, I know. I'm really excited to be back here. I've been going through a lot of stuff, man. A lot of rock bottoms, a lot of really good epiphanies, a lot of transformation, and it's been a ride. And if you've been with me since the start of this podcast, I just want to say, hey, thank you so much. We really have a very loyal fan base following, and I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are awesome. Thank you for allowing me to be in your ears. A lot of you listen to me while you're on patrol, when you're going home from patrol, when you're headed to work. Like, I just really, really, really appreciate that, and sharing this out means a ton to me. I have a lot of up and coming great news to tell you guys about. If you have not heard of the How to Be Code 4 While 10-7 program, it's a sheepdog only program. I want to tell you that I've launched it. We are in the second week of introductions. It is a 6-month program, which turned into a bonus month 7. And I'm almost sure I'm on to like 8 months now. This program is jam-packed full of good content. We're 2 weeks in. It is about changing the way that you think as a law enforcement officer, or whether you're in corrections, you're in probation, whether you're a Leo wife, whether you're in the military, or you're trying to become a police officer. This program is for you if you want to learn how to survive off duty. And it sounds like autumn, really, but surviving off duty, that's a thing. That is the thing nowadays. That it's a really hard thing. It's something that nobody's really talking about, and because of that, last year we lost 156 officers to police suicide, and that's just reported, and that's just officers that were police officers, okay, like active officers. That surpassed the in the line of duty deaths last year. This year, we are up to over 100 police officers, active police officers. That's not talking about police officers who got injured, who just retired, and stuff like that. No, these are active officers, and we are up to 100 officers who have taken their lives, and it is August 2nd when I'm recording this. So we have a problem. Obviously, the police suicide it's surpassing the in the line of duty deaths. So I do believe that we're doing a really good job of training defensive tactics and how to be, tactically safe when we are 10-8 in service, right? But what about when we're 10-7 off duty? What about that? And so anyway, so this is a program I put together. It's what took me from being extremely depressed and anxious. Severe crippling anxiety, could not go to a restaurant, could not drive through a big city, continuously felt like I was having like heart attack almost every day. I mimicked the symptoms. Just felt like I couldn't breathe. A lot of my life really severely impacted. My doctor heavily wanted me to go on an anti-anxiety medication. But I held off, and what I did is I healed myself, and I went from my rock bottom of, oh, you cannot work, you can't be full-time patrol anymore, to where I'm at now, where I'm actually mentoring. I have over 25 police officers that I mentor worldwide. I have this amazing podcast, and we've reached over 50,000 officers worldwide. I am now an adjunct professor for criminal justice, teaching, the new minds coming in. Really excited about that. And, I'm doing all sorts of things. And so if you are interested in this, what I want to tell you, I got 2 slots left, and then at this price, and it's $45 a month. This is just the starting price, and already we're not even done week 2 yet. Sunday concludes week 2, and we have officers and sheepdogs in there, just minds are blown. They're making big changes. They are having huge epiphanies, huge transformations. And so I encourage all of you, if you'd like to come in to do that, come on in. Some announcements. This podcast is going to be shifting a little bit to, I'm probably going to be renaming it. Yeah, I am. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be changing the name. If you're wondering what the name is, go find me on Instagram at Intuitive Sheepdog, and then let your gut tell you what I'm going to change it to. The deal is this, Sheepdog Nation. You guys are always going to be Sheepdog Nation to me, but a couple of things. One, first, I didn't realize until well after I started this podcast that there's already somebody who has a group called Sheepdog Nation. They're doing their thing. It's their business. And like, I don't want to step on any toes. We've never had any bad blood, no problems legally, but I didn't know. So first off, like I didn't know. I just always referred to you guys as Sheepdog Nation on Instagram, kind of got turned into that on podcast. And here we are. So first off, there's that. The second thing is I've really felt this really big shift. For me, which is why you've seen me really kind of be a little absent, because to be honest with you, I've been fucking scared. I've been scared about honestly just being me because and I'm sure that you can relate to this. This is like it's so relatable, and it's relatable in so many areas of your life. But put yourself in your police officer shoes and just hear me out. So when we look around at police officers, whether we just look around at our police departments or even if we look around online, right, social media, etc., it's a very specific type of person who is a police officer and their criteria and how they come across, right? So we have the in shape, clean cut, goes to the gym all the time, 6-pack abs, whether you're male or female. If you're a female, you might end up wearing a lot of makeup. You might wear your hair down. You might, whatever. If you're a male, you might have your shirt off all the time and whatever, right? And everybody's always into guns, and everybody, talks about how much, they work out, and they talk about how much they love guns and how much they're going to the range, and defensive tactics is a really big one. Obviously I'm into that, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, etc., etc. And I love all of that. And all of that is a piece of me, just like I know it's a piece of you. But for me, it's not all of me. And those aspects don't make up 90% of me. And that is something that I always struggled with within law enforcement, if I'm just honest. So, the thing is that as cops, if you don't fit those, if you don't fit in there, you definitely don't feel like you fit in. Let's just be honest about that. If you're not working out all the time, if you, you're not shooting guns all the time, if you're not taking jujitsu, if you're not, always out with the guys and girls, but the guys from work, if you're not always, scooping up the OT, if you're not doing these things, and you find it very hard for you to fit in when you want to talk about different things. And I could tell you that from my experience on the road, that was something everyone wanted to talk about the same things. They wanted to talk about how the admin was fucking them over all the time, and how this officer is a piece of shit, and how this one is a fucking fat ass, and you know what I mean? This one isn't taking their calls, and it's and all these things. And so that, I kind of fell into that trap. I think that we all fall into, because I'm like, damn, I don't really want to talk about this shit, but this is what every cop talks about around me. What do I do? Well, I did what most of you do, and I just try to fit in. And so and what happens is we lose ourselves, right? And so, but I will tell you that I didn't lose myself to the extent of I was always the cop on duty, and you can ask any officer I ever worked with, other than my FTOs, because I was brand new, so I was kind of scared to be myself. But I'm like, all right, okay, guys, we gotta take our angels. This is about to suck, right? Or I would be in my cruiser going code, and I would just say a little prayer. Okay, angels, please be with me, please protect me and protect everybody that I'm with. Very in tuned with the universe, in tuned with the angelic realm, the protection. If you are Christian based or faith, you're gonna have to forgive me because I don't know how to speak properly around that. But I'm talking about Saint Michael. I talk to I call him Archangel Michael, and I have his pendant, and a lot of cops do. And so anyways, I'm very open about that, and I haven't been, and it's been really kind of crushing my soul. I love talking to you guys. We're pulling up car. That's never going to stop. I love talking about things that, all the things. Like, I love talking to you guys about all the things, but I also need to talk to you about shit that really has transformed my life and that means a lot to me, and that's this stuff. I'm a shit magnet and I know that, but I'm going to tell you something. I I have prayed and I have full fucking faith in my faith, in my trust in the universe and the angels, and it has gotten me out of so much shit. Like, listen, I'm going to tell you something. When I was in the academy, so it was the third time I had to get maced, okay? And I don't take mace well. I mean, there's some people that do. There's some people it doesn't bother me. I'm not one of them. It really fucking sucks for me. So I say this prayer to the angels. I'm like, all right, angels. And, I'm like, okay, thank you for getting me through this. Thank you for making it super easy. And I also had a cadre and she was up my ass and she just wanted to see my day like ruined. So she doused me in mace, right? Like doused me. And I'm like, fuck, right? And then I had to go through this obstacle course. I go through the obstacle course and then I'm sitting in the cruiser and course, like, it's at night. There's no lights and you're pitch black. You barely can see because you just got maced, right? So here I am, a clusterfuck, and I know that any cop listening to this can completely, relate. And so she's sitting there and she's making me call over the radio and she's like, "You're not doing it right. Clifford, you're not doing it right. Wrong, Clifford. Say it again." And if you know anything about mace, what happens is, yes, the burning sensation sucks, but for me, that's not the part that sucks that bad. What sucks so bad is it actually like constricts your throat a little bit. So it'll constrict, release, because what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to, it's like all that, like, it's the red hot chili peppers, the THC, well, not THC, but you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. I can't think off the top of my head, but it's the capsium that is so hot and it gets into your throat and it constricts and deconstricts. And so that's the part that messed with me, and she knew it. And that's the part that really sends a lot of people's anxiety through the roof because they're like, "Oh my God, I can't breathe." But you actually can breathe. It's actually meant to do that. You just need to like calm your mind down and work through it. Well, anyway, so I just did everything she said, stayed super low key when she was trying to like send me over the edge. Most cops would be like, not most cops, so some, cadets in the academy would be like, "Oh my God, like, I can't do this." Like, cause I mean, when I say like she was fucking with me like 5 times, she made me say like that big long, like 21 to comp, and she'd pretend to be comp. She'd go, "Stand by." Like, motherfucker, and she made me do that whole thing like 5 times. And so I'm like, all right, I'm cool. I'm cool. And like, anyway, so what I want to say is like my decontamination period was 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. My partner was like, holy shit. Like everybody was hurting. I was done within 10 minutes. And I fully fucking believe my angel stepped in and helped me out, because I'm going to tell you something. The 2 times prior to that, it was a lot longer, but I knew what I was going through. And I asked for help and I received it. And I think that that's really important. I can tell you how many so many calls I would go to, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is going to be such a bad call, blah, blah, blah." I'd say a prayer. I'd come out, and it ended up woodworking. It would work out so fucking great. Like my calls, like they were just great. Like not all the people have those like calls that just erupt, but like I always brought in the angels. I always utilized, my intuition, trusted my gut, talked to the universe, talked to the angels. Like I always utilized this. And because of that, sheepdogs, the thing is that I have been able to bounce out of my depression, bounce out of my rock bottom of being told I'd never be able to work full-time patrol again because of my back injury. Like I got to bounce out of that a lot quicker than a lot of people would. A lot of injured police officers reach out to me all over the world, and I feel for them. Damn, do I feel for them. The difference between me and them is that my faith is so strong and I don't ever stop, and I don't stop working it, right? So I meditate an hour a day. I journal, I free write, I have angel cards. I do a lot of readings. If you're not in my group on Facebook, it's called the Intuitive Sheepdog. Come on in. I do a ton of free like angel readings. Come get a message. If you're like, just come see what it's about. It's cool. On my Instagram as well, I've been posting cards, just messages, angel messages, which have been really cool. so you can just kind of come see like what's up with that. But yeah, so like I've always stayed really connected, and I fine tune it, and I work it, and I work it, and I work it, and I work it. And that's something that, a lot of people, they don't do. Like they don't work it. They aren't working this a lot, and they're ignoring it. And this is who I am at my, this is who I am at what I would call soul level, or this is who my true self is. And I lost it for a while. I, was really trying to fit in. Not like, I wasn't like really trying to fit in, but like to some extent we do kind of like, we get going, we fit in, we let those sides of us show, but then we forget who we really are, and we're like, oh, we got to let that side show too. You know what I'm saying? So, learn from me. If you are decompressing a piece of you, you need to ask yourself why. You need to go into the accountability mirror. I took that from David Goggins. And go and hold yourself accountable. Ask yourself what's going on. Go ask yourself why. Why are you not showing anybody who your true self is? Why are you not doing that thing that you absolutely love, that is you, has been you, but you've really pushed it away? Why are you holding back? What are you afraid of? What's going to happen? What's the worst case scenario? For me, if I'm just really honest, here's what happened. I'm like, I'm going to lose my entire audience. So, I mean, what the hell? That's kind of a big deal when, I've worked really hard to build my audience, and have people like you around me. That makes me, obviously very happy. And so, yeah, I've like worked really hard for that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose everybody. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up launching my program. It was if you know anything about business, it was just like a spur of the moment launch. There was no plan. There's no branding. There was no website. There was no nothing. It was, hey, I'm doing this thing, and if you want to be a part of it, then, come and hang out with me. And within 2 weeks, I filled it up, and I was like, oh my gosh. So there's people like me that are intuitive sheepdogs or want to be, and this is fucking amazing. And so, anyways, that's what brings me here with you today. Like, I was so afraid that I was going to lose you, and I might lose some of you. And listen, no hard feelings. There's so many podcasts out there you guys can go listen to if you want to get, if you're not into this shit. But if you are interested in this, if you're interested in not losing yourself, if you're interested in, staying true to who you are, because as a police officer, we can lose ourselves so easily. And we're in the military, and we're any kind of first responder, like we get to lose ourselves so easily. And shout out to my Leo wives, man. Holy cow. Like that. I'm one. And I'm going to tell you, it's very easy to put the job and put your husband and everything that goes with it in front of you. And it is easy to do that. So if you want to like learn how not to do that, I've got 2 slots open. All you got to do is either email me, autumn@autumnclifford.com, slide into my DMs in Instagram. I check them all the time. Intuitive Sheepdog, formerly The Lady Sheepdog. And, or you can just come onto Facebook, go into my Facebook group and come see what's up. Intuitive Sheepdog. So that's kind of where I've been. That's what I've been going. That's what I've been dealing with. And I really hope that today, this message, what it is going to cause you to do is it's going to cause you to take a step back, and it's going to cause you to ask yourself the hard questions. What am I doing? Am I being authentically me? Am I being all of me? Who am I not being the real me around? Did you ever, I'm going on a rant. Okay. Have you ever felt in your life where you're like, I'm not being all of me. I'm not, there's so much more to me, and I'm not being all of me. There is so much more to me. Like, I don't know. It's like not who I am. And like, I just don't feel like I'm being me. Do you guys ever feel that way? Well, if you do, that's because you're not allowing yourself to be who you are, which means you're not fully connected with who you are, which means you're not fully connected to your intuition. You're not fully connected to your gut. And as a cop, that's a fucking problem. Cops are some of the most absolutely the most intuitive people on the planet. In the academy, whether you catch it or not, they're telling you the best cops trust their guts. The best cops always trust their guts. If something's not right, you have a hunch, your sixth sense, your spidey senses, the goosebumps or the hair stands up on the back of your neck. That's all your intuition, and the academy preaches it, but they don't come out and say it like as blatantly as I'm going to say it. You want to keep that fine-tuned. And the way you keep that fine-tuned is if you continuously work on staying connected to yourself and not losing yourself. And so I hope that today that's what you're going to do. You're going to go into the accountability mirror after you listen to this, and you're just going to have a conversation. And I would love to hear about the conversation that you had. So come on to Instagram. I'm going to have a post up that this episode has launched, and make sure you come and you just tell me about what the accountability mirror had to say to you. All right. All right, Sheepdog. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your continuous support, and I will see you next time.
And that was another episode of Sheepdog Nation. If you enjoyed this podcast, please go to iTunes and let us know by giving us a rating. If you have questions that you want answered by Autumn in the podcast, submit it by going to the link in the show notes. As always, stay safe and watch your six.